There's a lot to smile about if you're a Carlton man at the moment, and Brendan Bolton as the coach. What an amazing job he's done so far in turning this club around. And he's set to go. A bit of a different feel about today, though. They are the favourites, and whether that changed anything in the mindset, who knows. Brisbane, as we do know, have struggled on the road, but maybe with their good recent record against the Blues, they can really push them on, maybe even have a big win this afternoon. One of the big factors this afternoon, Cameron Mooney, is going to be the young talent on display for both teams, some of the top picks from last year. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
No question about it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the number 1 and number 2 from last year, Jacob Wiedering and Josh Shackey, go head-to-head. No question it'll happen at some stage today. Ex-Vic Country teammates. They know each other extremely well. Played in the under-18s competition against each other last year for the Dandenong Stingrays and the Murray Bushrangers. This is the game here where it's actually Wiedering actually got the better of Shackey on this day, kept him to 1 goal, really dominated, and a lot of the guys down that game said this was absolutely a brilliant game to watch with these two young men going at it. But as I said, Wiedering got the better of him. And this is something that we are going to see, hopefully, for the next 10 years in this competition. Not quite Carey and Jakovic just yet, but hopefully in a couple of years, no question, we'll be talking about these two as the best key defender and key forward in the game. And we get to see it here again today.
Good stuff, Moons. And it was interesting, Josh Shackey last week kicked 2-2. Only the second time he's kicked multiple goals this season. It was certainly one of his better games, so maybe he's just getting the feel for things. 7 goals, 10 he's kicked for the year, and he has been a reliable kick as a junior, so no doubt that will improve as we watch to see who's going to stand alongside him. It might be Sam Rowe start proceedings, or maybe, yeah, quick handshake there on the way past as he said g'day to Jacob Wiedering. But we are just about set to go here as they sort things out. And Freeman also pushing and shoving with Wiedering. Down at that end, Tom Bell, of course, a former Blue in action, as Sam Doherty is. So a little bit of loyalties that have swapped between these two sides. Carlton fans are up and about. They're excited about what they've seen so far from their team, led by that man, Matty Cruiser, and, of course, Bryce Gibbs. They find themselves in the middle of the ground again. In recent weeks, Brisbane have brought Trent West back into the team after a long time off with a knee injury, and once again he will start as the ruckman with Stephen Martin starting on the bench and spending a lot of time forward. Centre bounce are underway from Etihad Stadium. Cripps tries to storm forward, can't. Gibbs over the top. As the ball was socket out, and Brisbane get an opportunity. That's shut down, snuffed out. Too high, the tackle from Doherty though, and his former teammate Daniel Rich.
Come through like a ball there, Rich, and it took a strong tackle just to stop him, but just a fraction high.
Had a strong start last week, but didn't have a great second half as Rowe got the big fist to the ball. Cutler tried to break through, and he too couldn't. The Blues not able to get it clear. Cruiser's kick not going anywhere. So good start for the Lions to try and lock it away. Keys gradually getting better and better each week.
Patrick Cripps got a real strong tackle on him there. He was very slow to get up, just a little bit proppy. We know he's been carrying a knee for quite some time now, and he's ginger already.
West over the top. Cruiser, Gibbs again. Not surprisingly being watched very closely by Mitch Robinson. We expected that. Payne.
Got to hit that kick better. That is a really dangerous spot to have a shot or have a position to pass the ball. Just got to make better contact.
Into the back pocket, the impressive Kieran Byrne has the mark.
Got the full press going here, Roo.
Absolutely,
really
and turned it over as a result.
Jackson Payne doesn't complete the job though. Gibbs tried to hack it out of there. Rockcliffe angles it into the pocket, and it's a smart, sensible kick. And Hamlet, one of their prime movers, will line up for goal.
Well, you called it well there, Jared. They really pushed up hard there, Brisbane, and made it a bit tight for the kick out of defence. And Carlton wanted to move it slow, so they played into their hands a little bit and got the result they wanted.
A lot of pointing, a lot of general work from some of the not so senior players, just trying to get themselves nice and organised so they don't leak one out the back, which inevitably turns into goals.
Watch the Hamlin kick there. It's so important Brisbane make a good start on the road. And sadly, he lets himself and the team down a little there with that miss.
It's interesting, Roo, having a look as Patrick Cripps comes on screen, getting a lot of attention. But the one kick that the players weren't...
Just look at the twist there, Jared. If you've got a sore knee, as you know, you do not want to be getting like that.
Doesn't look too bad there, guys.
He's recovered all right for the leap. Didn't drag the mark down though, Cripps.
Yeah.
Just quickly, guys, Jared Jansen, who got traded from Geelong up there to Brisbane, just came up for his first run in AFL footy.
Part of the Josh Walker deal as the Cats went shopping over summer. It's involved there with the third up. Kerridge with the hands that are clean. Doherty and back to the wing, right through the mitts.
Yeah, playing in front again, McStay, well played.
And Christensen with a delicate touch. Rockcliffe is a welcome return inclusion. Hopefully he's close to being fully fit. Freeman marked it, but it's going to be a very tough shot from there.
Well, it's proving pretty difficult to get this ball up the other end so far, Roo.
Absolutely, doing well early, Brisbane, which is a good sign.
And Freeman, he's just kicked the 2 goals so far this year in 3 games. A goal each of the last 2 weeks. Was pretty good a couple of weeks ago against the D's. What can you say about that kick? It went as high as it went long, and certainly not on the line he was after. Curnow's been outstanding for Carlton this year.
I haven't seen him miss like that for a long time, Jared. Generally, when you're trying to kick a banana, you try and keep it nice and still because you have to perfectly kick it, but he had the real wonders going.
Thomas down the line. And Merritt camped in front, takes the grab.
Once again, this assertive defence from Brisbane playing in front of their men is proving dividends.
And Mays gives it back to Cutler. He's a welcome return last week with 18 disposals.
Well, providing dividends, and again, they move the ball well. This is an impressive start. There's a lot of people in and around the Lions camp thought they trained well, and on the back of a better performance last week, they were going to give this a fair crack.
Rockcliffe honors the lead and the space made by Robertson. They're in no rush to bring it forward, it seems. Back to Rockcliffe. As Carlton just filter out a little bit. Rich. Good fist, Doherty. Graham took it smartly. He's back in the team, replacing the skipper. And surely, he's given a bit of attitude there by the umpire.
No, it's a good call. He had no prior opportunity, and that's an excellent call for me.
Rockcliffe's on fire, boys, coming back from injury. He's had 7 disposals in 4.5 minutes.
Work out through the maths, Roo. How many is he going to have for the day? He keeps going at that pace. In the meantime,
180.
Right, 180. Right, to half forward. And well chopped off again. The Brisbane defence. He might be pink for that one. Here's Cutler. And Everett.
Funnily enough, Hutto, they are the #1 team in the competition, Brisbane, for a deliberate out of bounds this year, and that's just another one for them.
Probably trying to have a little bit each way there. It was a good intercept, but took it over, and he paid for that, Cutler.
Zorko got swung around. Blues fans had their faith in big mark coming from Casbolt. It didn't eventuate. Walker's fashioned something at goal. It's the first score for the Blues at least. And it's a behind each so far after 5.5 minutes.
Let's have a look at the deliberate. Yeah, that's what they're paying that all year.
Freeman, a little bit of jumper, bit of purchase, did Rowe. Play on the call again. Doherty counted well by Louis Taylor.
Oh, dangerous smother.
And now Bryce Gibbs for the first meaningful time. Walker, Kerridge, shut down by Zorko. Good early signs from the Lions at both ends of the ground. Zorko's been their best player so far this year. Attracts a pretty significant crowd there, and they're not going any further.
2 great smothers there, Roo. One to give the Blues a chance, and another one to stop that chance becoming a goal.
Yeah, I reckon it was...
Zorko the second time, I think.
Yep.
Play on.
Everett with a clever tap for Walker, who's gradually finding his feet over the last month since returning for the Blues.
Still yet to produce that big one, though, isn't he?
He is.
We know he's capable of kicking bags of goals.
18 disposals last week, though, was a vast improvement on what he's produced before that. And again, not a lot of room for anyone. Robertson, just the kick into space and sets everyone to task. Louis Taylor's got the chest puffed out, running hard after it, but beaten to it by Wright, who works in with Tui with a dab pass back to Kerridge. And again, it's no easy movement forward for the Blues. Brisbane have started very well from a defensive point of view.
Absolutely, they've pushed right very high up the ground here, the Brisbane forward. So all 18 players in front of Zach Tui.
Well, it was a 3-on-3 in that last challenge on centre wing when the loose ball came out. But Daniel McStay has been in reasonable form. He just didn't push out hard enough, and it became a 2-on-3.
Wiedering got himself into a dangerous position, but his next kick doesn't connect with his forwards. And again, It's Bell, the former Blue, who takes it away.
And that's the kick you got to try and avoid, because it does come straight back. You've got to be able to turn around under pressure, hit a target.
He gave a window, an opportunity, not taken by the lines. Like Keys wins it back brilliantly. Advantage. Yes, just taken by Rich. He was pondering for a while on whether to take it downfield now. It's Hanley's ball. Not realising why.
We were watching Piers Hanley warm up shooting for goal. He did 100 around the corners. Didn't see him practice one drop punt. He's missed one of those. Maybe he needs to address that in his pre-match warm up.
Didn't look confident as far as going the journey, even though with a run up you would have probably backed him. And there's Freeman again versus Rowe. Out of bounds. Opening 8 minutes. Martin in the arm wrestle with Cruiser, and now Curno's been outstanding. Hasn't got the same media attention as Bryce Gibbs and a couple of others this year, but he's really improved his game, being allowed to be more of an offensive player. Let's round it up again smartly though. Cutler, and there's Gibbs showing all aspects of his footy this year. Brilliant tackle. And wins it back, a hard-won victory for the Blues.
Well, right now, Roo, we're seeing a work rate from Brisbane that is competitive with the side that's won 6 games. The question is, can they maintain this intensity?
Force another turnover. Martin, who started on the bench. Here's a go. Freeman got a bit of a run. The ball fisted away to ground. And now the Blues defence through Byrne take it over the boundary line.
Well, it's a big opportunity there for young Jonathan Freeman. He just didn't hit the pack hard enough, though, did he?
Needed to jump a bit earlier and get on the back of the Carlton opponent.
So no goals yet. Almost 10 minutes into the opening term. Jansen takes the advantage, sends him to full forward. They're close, they're close. Tui, though. Tui was stymied. This is great effort from the Lions. Desperately needs to be rewarded. Blues trying hard just to jam it up.
But they've got to get some reward for this effort. They've dominated for 10 minutes.
Martin tapped it down. Robertson went through in his typical fashion.
Which ex-teammates are you going to line up today?
Or current teammate,
yeah, whoever gets in the way.
And speaking of getting in the way, Shane McInerney getting impatient with the players out there for being an obstruction. Curnow, could he get the arms clear? Did he have Pryor play on? The umpire said to all above. Whitson gets it out. Keys, Cutler. Submitted in the end, and the umpire said. It's
lots of players. They've got 36 players within about 50 metres here at the moment.
I thought congestion had left the game, but it's back in the building tonight.
It is. Jansen fashioned the kick. Didn't happen for him in the end. And good defiance by the Blues. And that last line, Plowman was good. And now Wiedering down the line. Well, not so down the line. Over the line instead.
Good duel, that one. Wiedering and Shackey, a couple of superstars of the future.
And they're head-to-head right at the moment.
Both played for Vic Country in the under-18s, I think.
Brilliant talent for both teams. Curnow again. Winged his way out of there. And it was just crept over the line, unfortunately, for Levi Casbolt.
Casual again there, Jared.
Yeah, he just timed his run. Not the best of kicks.
Howard coming off 21 disposal and 5 tackle game last week, one of his best for the season, but running out of ideas here and options, goes back. So their immediate outlets shut down. McStay finds Hanley.
It's been brilliant pressure from Brisbane. It hasn't generated any score, but it's generated a Carlton side that can't kick the ball just at the moment. They're running at 1 in 3 is effective.
Well, they've hardly been inside 50, Carlton. I mean, they've got to about where they are now a couple of times compared to Brisbane 6.
So Howard goes short.
You can see the game plan they're going in with here, Brisbane, can't you, Joe? I mean, they're just trying to deny Carlton the ball as much as they possibly can, but I'm just not sure Brisbane are a great kicking side that they can keep this up for that long.
Well, they've definitely come in with a strategy, haven't they? And putting the pressure on, as Moon said, and also trying to maintain possession.
But you have to say that Brendan Bolton would be reasonably happy that he's absorbing
There's no damage done, is there?
this pressure that is being applied by the Lions.
Shaki gets involved with hands. Hanley. Robertson just got over his head to Zorko to Martin. Zorko being pushed back. Now can they find their way around here? It wasn't the immediate disposal from Mays. Instead it was the link by hand to Harwood, whose pass is not perfect but not shocking. Out to the wing. The fumble might be costly.
Well, they are shocking, Hutto. I know it was only 3 metres wide, but if you don't maintain possession there, he had 2 people to hit. And the very fact that that's in professional era, that's a poor kick, doesn't hit the target, you lose the ball.
Moons was spot on. Are they good enough to play a high position game of football?
Cruiser down to the wing. Zorko gets it over the top. Jansen's made a good start. It was a little lucky, but found a target. Rockcliffe, Hanley, important players getting the ball into the pocket again, and that's a better grab.
It was a brilliant kick, that one. That was what they had. Half a metre room for error, and he found the half metre. It was an amazing kick, that one, and it needs a really good shot at goal now to get them on the board.
Good pluck. Really tough grab, this one. Have a look.
We've just seen glimpses so far of Jonathan Freeman. That's about all. He hasn't been able to win a lot of the ball in his 14 games of AFL footy, and therefore kicking goals have been hard. 15-10 in all. They've worked so hard, and it hits the post.
Came off the boot pretty well. Doesn't get the 6 points, but you wouldn't be too concerned about anything to do with his kicking style. Just needs to hit that ball a bit harder.
Tui for Graham. And now they can move again. From half back. Now with the steadying kick to Casbolt. And, just a few mistakes being made by Carlton here. Merritt kicks it deep into the forward line. Looked likely to drag down the mark again, but Jansen missed his chance, but he certainly got to position Jared Jansen a few times.
He knows how to find the footy, Rube.
What's that?
Jared Jansen knows how to find the footy.
Yeah, hard nut.
5 disposals so far. Picked 33 in the 2013 draft originally for Geelong. Here's Rockcliffe. Subtle kick to the top of the square. The tall timber all fell down. And that now allows White to bomb it back for Casbolt.
Well done, Merritt.
Good matchup that, isn't it, with Merritt and Casbolt?
Well, if you have a look at that kick from the skipper, Tommy Rockcliffe, the space now with defenders playing assertive football in front, the space is at the back. So you've actually got to kick it behind the playing group to give your man an advantage.
Some high contact to Alan Christensen.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, Hunter?
Yeah. You said it, Moons. Goes back to Mays. And then to Christensen again. And overwhelmed that time. Casbolt just heaved out the handball to right. Keep it moving. Give an opportunity forward. Jed Lamb needs to seize that opportunity. Bryce Gibbs usually does. But on this occasion, he misses.
Yeah, enough opportunity there just to settle. Perhaps a little bit longer there, Bryce, but these skill turnovers, which Moon highlighted not too long ago, will present opportunities for Carlton if they put pressure on the ball carrier of the Brisbane Lions.
Robinson, he kicked it in haste, and he will regret that now. We see so often those hurried kicks out of the defensive 50 are just so dangerous these days.
They are, and the turnovers, if you just turn the ball over a couple of times, the confidence will get eroded in these young Lions. They need to stay strong if this is the game plan they're going to go with. They need to be confident, they need to back themselves in.
Equal highest career tally of goals last week, Dennis Armfield in 3 goals. Doesn't take the shot for goal, instead hands it off. Here's Tui, can bomb them from anywhere.
Well, it's a brilliant kick, and you can set up any zone defence you like. If you can bomb the ball from outside 50, you're going to go straight over the top. Mitch Robinson kicks the ball under pressure, doesn't see the spares, and they can see the exasperation. But instead of looking at Mitch Robinson, you should be setting up for the receive, and the receive goes straight over the goal umpire's head. Great kick.
Makes a bit of a habit of kicking goals from outside 50. That's a little lapse in concentration by Brisbane. Once again, should have manned him up.
So 1-2-8 Carlton. The first goal took over 17 minutes here at Etihad Stadium, obviously in perfect conditions.
Brisbane, Rockcliffe.
Off to a great start, the skipper.
This will be possession number 10, Jared.
Well, he's had such an interrupted 18 months now. It's going to take him some time to get his full fitness right, but he knows how to find the footy, as we know.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting back to some high possession winning footy a few weeks ago and then hurt the hamstring again.
Yep.
They're on the way forward though, Carlton now. Looks like they've just started to get their game together. Cripps was desperate to get it moving again. Here's Lamb advancing. Walker well placed. Oh, he got it.
Well, everybody committed themselves to attack. The kick doesn't hit the target from Rockcliffe, and then all of a sudden you get killed on the way back, Ray.
Sure do.
Great ball movement by the Blues.
Well, here you go, Jared. Call this one.
Oh, it should be a goal.
We'll snap though.
Doesn't matter what method you use.
As long as you kick the goal.
Well, Jared, you talk about they got caught out the back. The reason when they're trying to do this possession game at the moment, Brisbane, they're ranked 18th for kicking efficiency in the last month. So I'm not sure how this is going to go for them. We've already seen costly turnovers that's cost them out the back.
Baston not paid the mark. Given no real love there by the umpire. Gibbs over the top. White finds himself inside the 50. Back to Thomas.
We're in this real transition at the moment. It's been happening for a few years about drop punts, snaps around the corner, especially shots on goal. You just wonder what the real percentages are with a shot on goal from Walker there compared to a drop punt.
Cripps decided to pose himself as a ruckman. Now Bastanak had teammates all around, which probably meant there wasn't too many further afield. And Plowman, who's getting better each week.
Gee, that was good body work. He pushed him out the way fairly and then took a good grab.
And now Simpson, who's had an incredible season, the age of 32, 27 disposals last week, averaging career best numbers at 26 and a half.
He wasn't on any sort of angle, was he? It's an interesting transition for the game. I wonder when we'll see someone directly in front run off the line and kick it around the corner.
Carrick's bombs to full forward. Cruiser was deep. Trying to skirt the pack and win the footy was Thomas. Both players fully committed there. Well maintained though by the Blues. One more handball and now Plowman can try and construct something. Every player on the ground ahead of Wiedering here, so there was no room at all to manoeuvre. Kicks it back into the middle. And being forced all the way back, regressing to half back. So that's a little win for the Lions.
It's a big win. A couple of times it was through poor kicks from Carlton, but this time they hit a target.
Bryce Gibbs starting to get the feel for it now. His 5th disposal.
See, this guy's got it on a string at the moment, Hutto, Wiedering.
Yeah, coming up from behind. He's had 6 disposals, in fact 7 disposals. And now they're inside the 50. Feeding it around again. He's had a good look at them that time, and he's put it through. Patrick Cripps. What a star he's going to be.
Great ball movement by the Blues. And on the finish, they're the ones that you use the round the corner ball because the swing of the ball actually makes it easier for you. But this is just good ball movement. And a pretty fair shot from that position.
Good finish. In a bit of trouble here, Brisbane, at the moment. The last 5 or so minutes, they're getting opened up.
Goal kicking hasn't been a big part of his play yet. In fact, 9 goals, 20 for his career so far. So he'd be delighted with that goal. It's a beauty. And as you said, all that hard toil from the Brisbane Lions has not amounted to a goal. And now it seems like the winds have changed a little bit here. Carlton with the last 2 goals, in fact, the only 2 goals, and have grabbed the momentum back.
We can see why the reports that Brisbane are really into Josh Jenkins are so, because they've gone inside forward 50 enough to have some opportunities at goal, but they've got such junior bodies down there that it's not giving return.
They're outnumbered here, although that's a one-on-one. No mark paid to Shaq. It was Tats. Zorko, been their prime mover this year. All he's done here is set it out into the pocket, and there's plenty of blue jumpers leading the pursuit. But none can get there before the boundary.
I'm not too sure he'll work up there, Jared.
I'm sure you are completely convinced he won't. He doesn't like the sun. He doesn't like the humidity. You've spoken to him about those negatives.
You're going to have a laugh.
West from the front. Robinson camps on the inside. Graham. Bastanak trying to counter for the Lions. They've just got to find a way. Bastanak trying to do that. And it was a delicate little operation. He finds Shaki.
Good finish.
And I think that's the body that that's the plan that they should be using if they're to take advantage of the light bodies at the moment. They need the forwards on the march. Rockcliffe was let down before. One of his key forwards, Freeman, wasn't awake and he didn't present. But this young bloke read it best, and he got a 15-metre lead on it.
7 goals, 10 for his career. 2-2 last week, Josh Shaki. It's not going to quite get him to the right spot of the right-hand post there. And again, they've let themselves down. Not simple shots, but they've just got to start making them somewhere.
Let themselves down with this zone defence too. There's a huge hole there and 3 Carlton players in it.
And out the other side.
Thanks, Josh. Right on the mark.
Blocking up the corridor well here, the Lions. Going to make him kick down the line, you'd expect, unless that's the one down the line. That's good defence from Brisbane.
Right, driving kick. Gorringe came in to spoil for the Blues.
Well, at the end of the day, if you're a Brisbane supporter, you just want to see improvement from week to week. Obviously, you want to see a win, but until the wins come, you want to see everybody working as a team. And so far, whilst they're 2 goals down on the scoreboard, you'd have to say that this has been a pretty impressive start by the travelling team.
And it goes to Cripps.
Speaking of impressive, Roo, he's made a great start to his career.
Oh, yeah. He's as good as it gets in the midfield. Big, chunky, 6'4" midfielder.
Just shortened the kick for Simpson, who's a little bewildered as to where to go to as far as an attacking arrangement is concerned. So instead, it's backward to Simon White. Refusing to be rushed here, the Blues.
That's a couple of times now that Christensen has trailed his man in. He's got to be more proactive and put the pressure on.
And Graham, he goes for the long one. Levi is at the back and was soon at the front but couldn't take it. Gibbs tried to work his way through. Rockcliffe, handball tough to handle for Mays. Carlton pouncing. Cripps really leading the way again. Feeding back for Simpson then into the 50. And Casbolt well positioned to line up for goal.
This is about the range. I think he likes kicking from 45, 50 metres out. Doesn't have to worry about whether he's going to poke at it or not. He's got to kick through it.
Good handball back, Graham, and then Simpson. He could see it. It just opened up for him. And that intensity to cover all options for Brisbane just waned enough for the Blues to have a few shots at goal.
Just 8 disposals and 4 marks and 1 goal last week, coming back from that injury, but such an important part of their structure. And when he starts kicking straight, he could be anything. (3-3-21) Carlton, and Brisbane disappointing, still without a goal in this opening term.
Let's have a look at where this come from, how this opportunity comes up. They got a teammate with Casbolt at the moment, and then he just gets, just wanders off and just finds himself in a bit of space, and McStay pays the price.
Gee, hard to believe how easy that was for Levi Casbolt, really, Roo, wasn't it?
Well, that's just bad defence. That's just getting sucked into watching the ball and not watching your man, and unfortunately, when you're a defender, you can't afford to do that.
Playing with the extra now, the Lions have got the goalkeeper in position.
He levels the ledger to Levi Casbolt. 8 goals, 8 for the season. So Brisbane. Stakes rising here because Carlton have kicked the first 3 goals and they're hungry for more. Gorringe taps it to Curnow, and this man has been a menace around goal of late.
3 last week, 4 for the season, and well within his range. Unless Zach Tui is just sniffing around.
Oh, come on, he's close enough this time, Roo. Come on, Dennis. But this is really worrisome now for Brisbane Lions fans, players, and of course Justin Lepich. They clearly had them up and ready to come out and fire, but just let themselves down in terms of converting. And on the siren, Dennis Armfield goes back, and the umpire puts up the 2 fingers to confirm 4 goals, 3-27 Carlton. Brisbane without a major, just 3 behinds, and they need to do something and do something quick at the quarter-time break, or this game is going to get away from them. The Blues by 24 points. But we're into the second term. And Cruiser puts Gibbs on the path towards goal. His kick shut down by Christensen, coming off half-back, and there's Doherty doing what he's done so well this year. Takes a good grab.
Didn't get much of it in the first quarter, but as you said, Hutto, that intercept marking has been a feature of his magnificent year to date.
It's not surprising the other teams are now going to put some defensive thoughts and actions. Oh boy, Plowman, little opening there for the Lions. Hanley again, just a bit rushed with the handball for Freeman. He was able to swap through 1 or 2, but not 4, and he's gone.
Opportunity. Thanks, Zach. Hold. Yep, you're fine there on the mark.
So Tui at half-back, great goal in the first quarter to Kerridge, who's been excellent for them this year. Just 14 disposals last week, well below his season average of 22 per game. And he takes the challenging kick into the middle, and look what it's created. Simpson with the mark and some options. He could go to Casbolt, he could go to Cruiser, he could go to Walker. He ignores all of those, interestingly enough. I thought he had some deep options there.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't move the ball on quicker as well.
And in the end, he leaves it for Armfield to do just that. Casbolt, oh! And he's given that away.
And 50. That should be 50.
Unrealistic attempt.
There's a long gap between the free kick and the time they had a shot on goal. It was very generous by the umpire.
He claimed it wasn't unrealistic.
What the umpire said was, you had your miracle 2 weeks ago. 2 miracles in a month doesn't add up. Concerned about this Brisbane forward line. Jackson Payne's been around for a long time. He's much more senior. He hasn't played a lot of games, but maybe he needs to go from the back to the forward half, because with McStay and Freeman there, I thought we just saw with Jonathan Freeman in that last attack, not quite ready for the responsibility of key forward posts.
Then a rush kick out of defence from Cutler. Justin Levitt like that. Tui to full forward. They're threatening again. Everett paid the mark. Bit generous maybe the umpire there.
Well, Doherty again, another contested mark or intercept mark at half back there. So just starting to get his way into the game. Squizzy Taylor, he's had 1 touch for the quarter, young Taylor, and not having an impact yet either.
15 seconds.
For the Lions.
So Everett, as we mentioned, been a great source of goals this year. 13 goals in 6 games, but not going to add to that. 4 last week against the Cats. Christensen playing out of defence at the moment at the start of this quarter. McStay dabs it. There was some real danger in the kick to Merritt. Christensen butters up well, but his kick was sprayed again, and it's back in Carlton hands. White feeding Simpson into the pocket again. They're looming large, the Blues now. Time and time again, they're taking it into the forward line. And on this occasion, it's Jed Lamb who's going to line up for goal.
Can't kick like that coming out of defence.
Self-inflicted wounds. They are killing this team and this club at the present time.
Well, Lepich spoke about when to use an uncontested mark and when to get it out long. Well, they haven't improved at all since quarter time. Kicking at 33% at the start of the second quarter.
So Lamb. Oh, perfect off the boot, and he knew it straight away. And once again, the Carlton fans are up and about.
He's been a good pickup. 3 clubs now, Jed Lamb. He looked as if he was having to have a promising career at Sydney. Decided to go over to the GWS. Didn't work for him there for whatever reason. This isn't working either. That's be on the pale for a senior player. But he's starting to find his good form with his 3rd club. He's been a good pickup.
He's not a high possession winner, but he does get metres gained, and he obviously can kick goals.
What are they doing?
What are they doing?
Let him run.
They're all on the edge of the line. It's quite ridiculous as they jockey for position.
We had Lewis Taylor trying to do the spinning roll, and he's done that. That's good kicking. Under pressure, that's a superb kick from Rich.
Might look silly, Hutto, but that's exactly what Louis wanted to do. He got in there and got the ball.
And all the Carlton blokes, they wanted to stop him, and they weren't able to do it.
Finds Keys. He's about to have the shot. Starting to look more and more of football at 2 goals, 7 though for the year. It's going to stretch him with the kick. They've just got to find a way of getting a goal on the board and getting some confidence here, the Lions. Not going to happen easily. Close to goal. Go anywhere. Thomas, well tackled. Graham, safety first. Price said it was under pressure and ticks it off. Tom Bell in a tangle with Daisy Thomas. Bit of fun between old mates. And Doherty has them on the move again. Out to the wing, and again is a perfect kick. And he finds Everett, who can turn it from the half back to the wing. And Walker can turn it from the wing to half forward. This is all the way for the Blues if they're clever. Armfield eases onto the left, dabs it into the 50. Kerno, does he go with the flow? No. Shut down. And finally some good defence, good work from Mays. Back to the wing. Hurried the kick though. White, now Louis Taylor comes into the scene. Freeman had no one to give it to. Was totally friendless. Walker shuts him down. Bang.
Well, it's really good defence by Brisbane getting back. Aided and abetted by a play on that probably shouldn't be taken, but here is a good kick.
Simpson, Everett had the punch from behind. Kerno and Everett again. Rich lays on the big tackle. Five goals, 4 to 4 behinds only. On the 50. Jansen can't get clear. Tunnel back through the legs. Cripps. Margin stays at 30.
2 ruckmen here, Carlton. Watch Cruiser come over the top.
Swatted away to McStay, runs straight back into the maze of players. Robertson grits his teeth, he's over the ball. He didn't do a lot to try and dispose of it, given the leeway necessary by the umpire. We'll have another ball up.
Still got 2 big men here, Carlton, so Brisbane just have to be wary.
He's caught in the tangle, tapped down Martin to Kerno. Pumps the handball. Good pressure on Byrne, and it sneaks over.
Well, Brendan Bolton was at pains to play down the talk of finals rule, and that's fair enough from a coach of a side that's still finding their way. But, gee, the numbers are starting to suggest they're going to have a fair chance of an outside spot.
Well, they'll look like it at the halfway mark anyway. There's a big chance of them being 7 and 5 in 2 weeks.
Freeman dabs it short. See if Brisbane can mount something. Can they? Yes, here's an opportunity at last. Bastanak just outside the 50, but where to next? It's been the same question for them since the game started. And running out of ideas. He puts himself under pressure. Kicks off the left to full forward. Bell back with the flight. Not going to happen. Zorko maybe they're most likely.
Well, they're a running side for mine, Brisbane. That's their strength. They're mid-zone, they're mid-sized players and smaller. And Bastanak had the great Zorko going past and yet ignored that opportunity.
Grabbed by Graham. And there's Gibbs getting involved. On the way out.
Everett dangerous.
Kerno. And options down the ground. Kerridge. He's got Everett just holding his position with McStay, but it's one back for the Lions instead by Harwood, and that set them up through the middle. Hanley's kick into the 50. Shaki got one. Yep, crunched.
Well played, Shaki. That is magnificent from a young player. Coming back to where the heat is, keeps his eye on the ball, his head up, knows he's going to wear one, and he does. Just got to go back and nail it now. That's strong play, and hopefully those around him will take his lead, and he can set the standard.
Just a gettable one in the first quarter. Just needs to reward himself here. Kicked a couple last week. Looked all right against the Hawks.
Yep, he's coming along.
And a couple of goals can change the whole complexion of a game. We've seen that time and time again. But they've just got to get the first one. Give themselves that opportunity. Shaki. Oh. Agony for Brisbane.
A bit wounded.
Doherty kicks in, out to the wing. Cruiser in front. West over the top. At the back, Gorringe, and now Bastanak starting to have an influence on this game. Swing and a miss from Jansen. Payne couldn't control it either. White, the errors are costly for the Brisbane Lions.
Well, they've had genuine opportunities to kick 3 goals. I mean, not talking half opportunities or flukes, just ones that you'd expect AFL footballers to take. And if you added the 18 points, they're essentially right in this game. They've got to actually somehow psychologically ignore the scoreboard and just continue to produce their best here, because
they're winning the contested possession this quarter, Jared, 15-10.
Yeah, a couple of goals in a row, as you said, Hutto, and the situation can change rapidly.
Bastanak's been good of late. He goes short for Robinson. First real chance for the Carlton fans to have a bit of a boo.
But the Blues are pushing them wide. They're taking all these opportunities and invariably forcing them to the top of the square, and they haven't got much representation there.
Freeman was trying, Shaki was trying, but the Blues defence on the job. 5-4-34, 5 behinds. Brisbane continue to push and continue to struggle in front of the sticks. Oh, is that deliberate or on the fall? It's deliberate.
Mitch Robinson!
What are we doing?
Time off!
Do you want me to go through?
Cripps with the mistake, and Mitch Robinson to have the shot.
Do you have the shot here, Roo?
I probably would, actually, if you
Well, if you look at the
confident enough.
you look at the odds of marking the ball.
Well, he goes for the last-minute pass.
They haven't marked one inside their forward 50 for a long period of time. I think the shot was the high percentage option.
I don't think a team's ever marked that ball, period, this year, have they, Jared?
No, there's a lot tried, though.
Everyone's trying, but quite often they don't have anyone where they're kicking it to.
Everett, Harwood, all in the scramble. Henley, interesting kick. Ad-libbed a bit and it worked out all right.
Kick.
Harwood to centre half forward.
Take that back.
Cripps storming through the middle of Etihad Stadium. Handball's left or right. He went right. And now they're forward and running hard. High kick right to the square. Lamb having a feast, puts it through.
Well, the vision was right, the decision was right, the execution was 2 metres long, and if you're going to play with fire, you can get burnt. You go inside, you've just got to hit the target. It was there.
Too much flight.
Yep. And it's been, it has been the author of the demise of the Brisbane Lions. Their field kicking just hasn't been up to scratch.
Well, Moon set up right early in the first quarter. If you're going to play a high possession game, you have to be highly skilled.
35 points the difference now, and Jed Lamb, that was a pretty comfortable one for him.
Yeah, you like one of those every now and then, just for a little confidence booster.
Showed a bit of speed.
They're all fast going towards goal, Jared.
Robinson out to Rockcliffe, tempers the kick and does it well for Mays. Marks just behind the wing, glances up into the 50, but instead it's across the ground, finding a different path if they can. Payne dabs for Harwood. It's Zorko up his sleeve, and that's where he decides to make the play from. It's all painfully slow, though. Drills it into the pocket, and that's reeled in beautifully by Stephen Martin.
Well done, big fella. He does need to push forward a little bit and give him a bit of presence up there, because apart from Shaki, they're just very skinny in aerial power.
He also goes for the handoff. It worked for Carlton. Does it work for Dane Zorko and the Lions? No. And it's not even a mark either.
On the ball, please.
Shaki claiming it.
Thank you.
Asking for a review.
I believe it's a behind. I would just like to check if the ball was marked on the behind line.
Score review. Umpire's call is 1 behind. Can you please check to make sure the ball wasn't marked prior to crossing the line? Exactly.
Does it have to be completely over?
Yeah.
Is it a mark then?
All clear. Wait. Yeah, blue dot. Stay behind, Sam.
Well, 2 comments. One, you'd reckon the umpire's in the right spot to make a decision. And 2, that evidence on that angle that we just saw suggested it wasn't completely over the line. But we haven't got the full parallax error.
If it was on the line, it's a mark.
I would have thought he marked it and the actual ball momentum took his hands over the line, but he actually took the mark before the line, I would have thought.
Margin still 34. Brisbane can't catch a break, that's for sure. Rockcliffe West did not look. Just hammered it onto the boot. Gets it to full forward. Jansen over the top. I'll come back to the young man. Chance to kick a goal. Yes! That's the young man, his first that does it.
Well, they've been peppering away, and finally it took the first gameroo to slide one through. Round the corner, but still got it through.
Yeah, much needed too, and good confidence booster. Hopefully they can get a few more in quick succession. He's shown a bit.
Plenty.
Too already.
Well, he showed a bit of intelligence just with the tap. The flip over the back, and there he is.
Oh, look at that.
His jumper.
Oh, no wonder he's playing well, the big brown dog. Fox's own John O'Brien there delivering the pre-game speech. He would have revved him up. Would have been a bit of gold there, I reckon, boys.
Pretty good number to be given, isn't it?
Just
really?
get out there and get into him with the jumper. Proud.
They finally kicked a goal. That might change things. Martin back in the ruck. Inside 50, Louis Martin's on the run. Louis Taylor's on the run. It comes out to half forward. Almost had the back pocket pulled down. And now it's Wiedering who steadies and takes it just to Kerridge.
Interesting ruck duel, that one. Steph Martin stayed on the ground, just walked around Big Cruiser and got an easy exit.
Plonks it down the line. Big fist comes from Jackson Payne and sends it over the boundary line.
Just a quick one on Jetson, guys. I mean, he's a ball magnet. He's a big ball through the middle of the ground as well. He's someone Geelong really didn't want to lose. But with all those big names coming down the highway, they had to give up something, and unfortunately he was one that had to go out.
It's been impressive so far. There's the last 10 clearances, and they are getting on top in that area. 7-2 for the quarter. But once again, it hasn't turned into anything at all other than that one goal. They can improve their conversion from their hard work. Who knows what might happen in this game. Robinson, Rockcliffe and Rich all involved. Keys now. And Zorko.
Oh, shit. It's a couple of posters for the Lions now.
Deserved better. That was a terrific passage of play.
Good movement, wasn't it? It's fantastic to watch his Zorko, and he's got the ball in his hands at full flight. He's a great player.
Jared, you said it earlier. They play their best footy when they run and gun. They
Yeah.
take that ball on, they handball, they run and carry. Yes, it probably costs them a few goals going the other way because they can't defend it, but it's already cost them a lot of goals. Why don't they just go back to that way they attack, because it looks so great when they do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's their strength going forward until either Shaki becomes the A grader we hope he's going to be, or McStay or one of the other tall youngsters develops a body.
Tui with great confidence and authority off half back, and a punishing kick all the way to the 50. Armfield couldn't quite handle it. He had right in support, and he's just ploughed in and over the top. Advantage paid, and Dennis will swallow that one. Two goals to Armfield, and the Blues back out to a 33-point lead.
Gee, have Matty Wright get up after that one. Let's have a look at the contact here. Get a couple of hard nuts in Mitch Robinson. They took it easy on him. They didn't jump into his back. And Dennis playing on and getting another goal for the Blues.
It's too easy on the rebound, isn't it?
Been a good couple of weeks, boys, in front of goal. Dennis.
He was a forgotten man of footy, but he certainly put his hand back up.
Played 12 games last year. In fact, played 24 games in 2013. He's a survivor, Dennis Armfield, 29 years of age. Really enjoying his footy right now. Byrne just easing out of defence for the Blues, sending them deep again and wide this time. And Everett couldn't quite get to the front position.
Is he the beneficiary of a Carlton side who's starting to win a bit of ball, and with his leg speed being able to run forward and just getting on the end of it a little bit?
Well, I think he's always had that leg speed. I think the fact that they are winning.
That's what I mean. They're playing a style of football where there's a bit more sort of slingshot, a bit more open space in the forward 50.
Bastonak with all sorts of problems. That wasn't what the Carlton fans were screaming for.
Tackle straight up. Hey, don't go. Patrick, stand up.
Well, they're used to the screaming. They practiced Brisbane during the week with a bit of crowd noise up at the Gabba.
You got to love Cripps, He doesn't take too many prisoners, Root. Got a bloke on the ground, he just drove the shoulder into him.
He did too. Bastonak to half back, asked a lot of Rich in the air against Gorringe.
Lucky you never did that, Moons.
Gorringe off the instep, but actually favoured his teammate in the end. Lamb was able to dig up the slick hands. Great to watch, right, though didn't have them on.
Brisbane.
And it's the free kick to the Lions going to Harwood. Took some pain in that last line. Back out to the wing. Fist it back towards the line. A fine line, and one that Cripps was happy to take on. Gets it back to Curnow. Bell came in, wanted to make physical contact. Well done by Curnow initially. Lions try and intensify the pressure. Thomas. And still they scrap hard. Inside. Back inside the 50. Cutler back to the wing.
Oh, good grab.
Beautifully read. To take the mark and try and keep it moving. Keys through the middle. Back out to the wing by Cutler. And now Bastonak again. Gives it as much as he can. Zorko out of position, and he managed to hold the space clear for Bell, who played on and then wished he didn't. Christensen looking for a free. Great tackle. Fantastic tackle on him that time.
Well, he's probably only a few inches away from getting a free too. Christensen, who thought about it, the umpire, chose the right decision to call play on.
Stay behind the mark,
Bell,
guys.
who did the wrong decision. He's only had 2 disposals against his old side, and 22 minutes into the second quarter.
Martin in the air. Good counter by the Lions from the back of the pack from Rockcliffe to generate some run.
He's had 23 disposals, Rockcliffe.
Taylor, Harwood, and finally set up complete. Bomb goes to full forward off the hands of Bell. Still looking for the opportunity. Was that deliberate? We'll have a boundary throw in.
Well, Robertson running around with Simpson, trying to lock down on him. He's already had the most possessions for the Blues. The one that isn't getting away, though, is Bryce Gibbs, just 7 possessions, which would be his lowest return for a good 5 weeks.
Gorringe to Curnow. Back out to the wing.
Great mark.
Yeah, solid stuff, wasn't it, from Casbolt?
Back behind the mark, Levi, back behind the mark. Keep going.
Gracie Thomas too, he's just plodding along at the present time. He's only had 5 touches, so there's plenty of room for an uplift here for the Blues.
Inside 50 count. Carlton just up by 2. They've kicked 7 goals to 1.
Yeah, they've got a lot right though, Brisbane, and that's what I'm sure Justin Leppich will be talking about over the next 10 minutes or so at half-time.
Good kick.
It was a strong kick, wasn't it? And it gave Everett every chance to mark. Massive disparity in size against Christensen. And now Gorringe can go back and have the shot for goal.
Hopefully he kicks it a little bit better than his last effort. Well, the big fella.
Gorringe goes around the corner. Only slightly better. Not on the full. Result no better at all. Free kick going to Trent West in the back pocket.
What's your thoughts on that one, Jared?
Well, it's easy to be negative if they don't kick it and positive when they do. But I would have thought he's practiced that maybe 200 times in his life, and he's practiced a drop punt about 200,000 times. I reckon the odds would have been the drop punt.
Curnow tracks it down. Plowman in the build as well. Right, dabs for Kerridge. Just the required distance.
It's pretty easy to see why players do it. You get the swing, it's a bit like a boomerang. The ball does bend towards the goal, but we just don't see enough of it from a high percentage perspective across the competition.
30 metres out, you have to absolutely hit it perfectly too. You have to really know what you're doing. And a drop punt from that, if you run around just a fraction on your right foot, you got a huge chance of putting it through.
It ultimately just comes down to percentages. Stevie J, you back him in because we see him kick it 75% of the time, if not higher. But I reckon across the board, it would be less than 50%.
And the Lions again overdo it. And beneficiaries of Carlton. Thomas able to dig out the handball to Lamb. Off the left boot. Armfield with a run. Cripps is there. Dennis was the highest flyer. Oh!
Nice.
Smash goes Christensen straight into the ground.
He's hurt.
And he hasn't moved yet.
It's a good legitimate bump though. Both players going for the footy.
Just lays him out.
Got the blinks happening.
Walker. His body was turning.
Got down low too. It was good technique.
Just here, Patrick.
Oh, his eyes were not where they should be.
Cripps to line up. And there's pain everywhere for the Lions right now.
Well, he's up and about. Alan Christensen, let's hope for him and the Lions he can get back out and play a role. It was a good, strong hit here by Walker. Got down low, hit him with the shoulder, hit him in the shoulder. Nothing to worry about from a report point of view. Just a really strong hit.
Yeah, it was just a contested ball. The ball was in dispute. He didn't hit him in the head. It was a bone rattler. In the finish, the goal goes through, and Cripps continues to have a massive influence on the game.
Block, Brisbane.
So with the shoulder being nursed, he's coming off the ground, and Brisbane going forward through Martin and Rockcliffe. The build was good, and almost on the end of it, Shaki just gets bumped off it and rattled around some. Simpson went to ground, put the head down, then play on the call again. Bell couldn't get the fend working, and it crept over the line, which is fortuitous for the Lions.
Interesting to see a replay of that Shaki attempted mark, Roo. It looked as if he was halfway going with his hands and then changed his mind to take it on the chest. When all the advantage with the rules is that you put your hands out and take it in the mitts.
Scrap hard here. Wiedering. Bundled over the line.
Ed, come on.
So just over a minute remaining. This quarter they've kicked 4-1 to 1-4. That tells a bit of a story in itself. Despite the fact that Brisbane have won the contested possession, they've been outscored again, and the margin's got out to 39 points.
And the clearances too, Hutto. They've really done a good job in close. It's 20 to 11 with the clearances. They should be
much closer.
Yep.
The man, Carlton, Ed Curnow.
Just feeling for him then. Free kick goes to Curnow.
So ultimately you'd say they're doing a lot right, but getting the ball inside forward 50 is the start of their challenge. They just haven't got a method at the moment of getting it through. We know they're down on maturity in there and big bodies. So the question is, does Justin Lepich throw it around and do something different? Or does he maintain the development program?
Link again off half back in impressive fashion. Doherty some confusion, and he's given them a look in. Taylor, they've just flipped it around enough, and Lewis Taylor pops up again in the right spot, puts on the little move, turns onto the left, and then doesn't make the connection he needed to. It's the same old story for the Lions, just breaking down either in that last kick into the 50, or if they do get it in there, can't make the strong connection and kick the goal.
Good hands though through the middle. We know they've got some talent through there.
Orange flies, it's off hands. Second quarter about to end, much like the first. Carlton's lead is out to 39 points.
I know he's not a great kick, but Tom Bell has not done a lot. He hasn't had too many possessions. Could you play him outside of the goal square? Get a big body down there.
Yeah, you could, absolutely.
He's had 3 touches for the day. Stick him in the square, give them a big body.
Eight 4:52 Carlton, 1-7-13 as we start the third quarter, and it starts in impressive fashion for Brisbane. Bastanak gets it forward. Once again, they fall down inside the arc as Wiedering takes the mark and sends the Blues on their way. Kerridge looking to deliver quickly.
He did it so well there. Jacob Wiedering just edged his opponent under the ball and took another intercept mark.
Hard to believe he's in his debut season, is he?
Incredible.
He's as young as you could be. The kick goes to half forward. Plenty of Blues gathering. Casbolt had an impact. Right, just went a bit past it. They're all waiting for the handball rather than to go in and win it. Mays had his moments in this game. Goes short and finds West. Robinson getting to the right spot as they advance with some purpose. And Freeman can go up and take the mark or get the free.
Yep. Good kick by Robinson. Really gave the Carlton defenders no chance of getting back.
And this is one young bloke that we know has got plenty of talent. He's missed some footy with injury, but he's getting a decent run at it now. At the start of the game, he had some opportunities, didn't hit the pack hard enough, but that was excellent work, Roo. He was working in top gear, and he's drawn the free kick and gets another chance. Good rebound footy by the Lions.
He's had a couple of shots on goal.
And 3 marks for the day, and now the free kick to go with it. From the 50, he could give it everything he's got. And he's able to do that and land a goal. Terrific boost for him and the Lions.
So they've got a genuine chance with this kid. If he can get his work rate right, train with the midfielders, put some muscle on as well, and doing both is a difficult challenge. And then just start developing his relationship with those mids. There a chance to have him and Shaki up in that forward half, and they'll need another one, but it's a good base. And a great kick.
So we know they've missed some chances today. There's where the 2 Gs showing the goals and the behinds. A lot from that left-hand pocket. If the conversion can change, who knows? It's back to 33 points. Can't afford to put a foot wrong. Moons, can I just ask you about Freeman? And they recruited Josh Walker, who'd been okay without doing a real lot in a tough place to be. Do you think that Walker will come back, or they'll stick with young Freeman, even though he's paired with another youngster in Shaki?
Oh, look, if I was Brisbane, I'd be sticking with the youngsters to try and give them as much game time as possible to get them to those 50, 60 games. That's usually when you see your key forwards starting to really develop and know their own game. I mean, Walker's gone up there just to really, in my opinion, probably just fill a gap for a couple of years. Hopefully, you know, give them some really good service over the next couple of years to make sure that they just protects these guys a little bit, to get them to really develop. And when they do develop, I mean, Freeman is going to be a pretty good player, I think, Jared. I mean, he marks the ball strongly, and I think Shaki, we all know what Shaki could be.
6'6" too, Freeman. Perfect for what you want up there.
Curnow trying to wrench it out of there. Good tackle pressure from Keys. They've tried to ramp it up a bit here at the start of the quarter, the Lions. Payne, good combat back the other way, though, from right. Gave it off to Simpson. Full head of steam, but didn't go overboard. Back instead to Lamb, and the setup into the pocket wasn't too bad. Walker got caught in the crush, and it's over the line and out of bounds.
And this is why we like watching talented players. That was excellent interception there from Wright. Deft talent, deft touch. Good to watch, having a good year.
Tries to get the arms free, Cripps, which he's an expert at doing. Nice little steal from Robinson over the top to Zorko. This could develop into something. Rockcliffe feeding Bastanak. Bouncing now. Where to next? As he bounces and just pauses. trying to bide his time, waiting for his teammates, more resources on hand. Again, not a great handball from West, wrong-footed Zorko, but no matter, he goes forward, and it was perfect in the end. And we haven't seen a lot of play like that for the Lions, but Cutler's going to have a shot for goal.
It is a really good start, good 4 minutes. The skills are a lot better by Brisbane. They're hitting their targets, they're moving the ball through the middle of the ground a lot better, and they've just caught Carlton off guard a little bit here.
That's the run and gun carry we're talking about, Jared, isn't off that half
Spot
back
on,
line.
Moons.
It looks exciting.
Makes a difference when you kick at 83%. That's what they're doing early in this third quarter.
So now comes to the conversion, and Cutler, not bad at all, straight through the middle. What have they had at half-time?
Well, they only kicked 1 goal and a half. They've kicked 2 in 5 minutes. So this is really good. This is great, and a good response from a frustrating first half for Brisbane and their side.
Just his 6th goal in AFL footy, Tom Cutler.
Let's have a look at his work rate. He is absolutely flying there. There's him top left, and he gets all the way down to grab the goal. There he goes. He's running hard. He's still on the outside of the central corridor, still pushing himself forward. Sees an opportunity, starting to evolve now. Great last metres.
Reward there for effort. What an effort it was. Robinson. Suddenly this game has changed completely. And Freeman tries to take the mark. The Blues will just try and ward them off here and get some control of the footy. But there's an opportunity for Robinson there to send it forward.
Good defensive handball.
Merritt oblivious to what was coming, but he ducked through the tackle pretty well. Saw it off, then Payne a bit slow to react. And it's back over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Well, they had big source Merritt cold there, and that's a tackle that just needs to be made against better opposition. Losing those tackles can cost you matches.
Went a bit hard, Walker, didn't he?
He did. He
Already
smelled the
got one
victim.
scalp. And Christensen. Source is a little bit different build.
Good
Thomas
hands.
creative, wasn't it, by hands to Gibbs. He's had a quieter afternoon, eases the kick into the 50. Robertson with 2 Blues, one from either side, coming at him hard. Kerridge got enough on the handball to Armfield. He was in the sights though of Bell, and jeez. Lucky not prior the
Excellent defence though. Lions player came off his man and just nailed him.
Bell.
Well done to Tom Bell.
And they hack it back to the middle. Wiedering so well positioned. Takes the mark again. Just stymie the move forward. Simpson, always very concerned when the man on the mark stands. Careful kick from Kieran Byrne is okay to Matthew Wright. Peers into the 50, but decides to go short back to Nick Graham. Cripps coming off the bench here, just sauntering past.
Jared, just on Wiedering and Roo, have you ever seen a debutant put himself in the right spot just about every time?
I remember seeing a bloke called Neil Danaher. We have to go back a long way in his debut season. He played one unbelievable year. Looked like he was a 25-year-old. And Wiedering reminds me of him. Played similar positions. He went forward occasionally, Neil Danaher, but gee, he was a hell of a young talent from his first year. And we know that he got struck down by a few knee injuries and made a great contribution as a coach. But Wiedering has been a star. You're on the money.
Graham, again, the quick hands. Doesn't produce too much on this occasion. 8-4-52, 3-7-25. They've kicked the only 2 goals. There's the half. There's the intercept marks from Jacob Wiedering. West reaches over the top. Bastanak snaffles it. Zorko goes for the torpedo. Challenging 1v1. There he is again.
Well, he's taking the best position at the present time. He's taking that defensive position. And to be fair to Shaki, the balls have all been going over their head.
It's not necessarily his fault, is it?
He eluded the tackle smartly that time. Armfield kept it at arm's length, but handed straight back by Everett. And this might amount to something. He's got Bell down the line. Ignores the long option, which had some danger about it, and instead it's a bit-by-bit approach. Robertson decides to use West, knowing he can get it back, but then the stumble and the fumble.
And gone.
Play on, still the call. No, the umpire said it's a free to Brisbane.
They get another goal here, Brisbane, and this is game on, Jared.
landed in his back.
Roo, just to go back on your point with Wiedering and Shaki, I mean, it's not Shaki's fault so much, but he's got to learn to fight for that.
No.
He's allowing Wiedering now to take marks, and he's taken 6 intercept marks virtually on him. As a key forward, you've got to get a little bit angry when that happens to you.
And I think that's not what we're seeing. We're not seeing the really intense fight back from Shaki at the moment. And without doubt, Wiedering is a half-second ahead of him in changing from defence to attack.
Gee, he was buried there on the wing. Blues fans wanted a free. Kerridge works in tandem well with Byrne to get it back, and now the kick into the 50 is a bullet, but on the bounce, hard to handle. Soccer comes from Armfield straight ahead, only knows one way. Walker snatched it, and then they snatched him into the pocket. Bodies going everywhere here at Etihad Stadium. The Lions coming out with some endeavour at the start of this third quarter, and they're right on guard there, trying desperately to stop Carlton getting a goal back. Brendan Bolton, a few things for him to think about here. Rowe doing the ruck work against Stephen Martin. Jansen finds an escape. And again, Zorko is becoming the great torpedo man out of defence. And over the line it goes. Clearances this quarter, 7-1 in favour of the Lions. So it's suiting them to make it a high stoppage contest. Keno and Robinson.
Has Cruiser come out this quarter, boys, or not?
I'm just down here looking at the moment, Roo. I can't see him on the bench.
He's down injured on the sheet in front of us.
Here's Everett then. Kicks into the 50. It's set well for Casbolt. Plenty from behind. Robertson was there and doing his thing for the Lions, and that's not deemed deliberate. Again we wait. Rowe doing the ruck work, as we said, in the absence of Cruiser.
They've already had a real dominance, the Lions, in the clearance area, and if Cruiser's gone, this will be a big advantage for the Lions.
They'll have Gorringe as well, of course. He's done enough and the ball's out. Jansen sitting on top, waiting for it to come his way. Martin, Zorko fossicking hard for the ball, both teams. Back to the square. Walker couldn't manoeuvre himself to the right place. Zorko's been superb again. Gets it through to Taylor. They're digging in hard here, the Lions. Back to the wing, but it's haphazard out of there. And the mark taken by Kieran Byrne. He can switch things up here. Doherty, again, not perfect, but he's got some resources on this side of the ground to use, which he does. Simpson, a couple of players leading up. Armfield was one of them. Too much on the kick.
Yeah, pretty good defensive pressure there by the Brisbane Lions. The ball was hacked out and it looked as if it was going to be whipped around and straight back in, but they have made the transition from one side of the ground to the other to knock it on the head.
Just sensing an opportunity here, the Lions, at the start of the third. And they're not holding anything back. Carlton's ball use this quarter suffering a bit. 45% their kicking efficiency. Small sample, fair to say, at the start of the quarter. But they want to improve that. Kerridge disposed of, play on. Could have been either way. Taylor off the left, a half-forward Plowman. Entangled down there with West, who very nearly marked it, and he was adept at ground level. Rich fires out the handball. It bounces, but it sits okay. And Freeman giving, and now further from Rockcliffe and Rich. Slightly out of position, but Keys didn't give away the free on Doherty, and he decided to keep it in. Wiedering might regret that now. Just gets the handball away. A bit fumbly. Doherty puts the head down in the bottom up. Comes storming out of defence. Mays well placed though to mark. Can he generate something going forward here for Brisbane? He does by hand to handling, and now steading through the circles. All his players weren't really well positioned at all. He had to change the angle of the kick, and instead it favoured the advantage of the Carlton defender. And once again, it's Jacob Wiedering.
Yeah, the Wiedering influence is immense at the present time.
McStay thumps it back though, and they can build up one more time. Cutler, well, Lamb did argue with Robertson. The handball, Plowman trying to intervene. Gets it to Walker. They've been on the back foot for a little while here, the Blues. Lamb, skidding kick, and the sliding man was Everett. It's over and out.
Be frustrating inside that coach's box for Brisbane, Cameron. just the amount of times we've had opportunities to have decent kicks inside the forward 50 go nowhere.
Yeah, you summed it up well, Jared, obviously. It comes back the Blues way again. Gorringe. Which way? Free kick going to the Blues. Against Merritt. Curno's kick coming in high. A little bit of relief there for Brendan Bolt.
They're going to go to the snap again here, Jared. Is he going to straighten up with a drop punt here?
He's looking for a pass route.
Hey, Jared, sorry about that before. I was just getting an update from Carlton.
Yep.
Cruiser is down in the rooms. He has been sick at half-time, so it's not his knee. It's not anything to do with that. It's just a little bit crook, so hopefully they think he should be coming back out soon.
That's when bad news is good news.
Oh, what about that? Nothing like his kick in the first half. Terrific goal. And just the tonic for the Blues.
Oh, no, that was a magnificent conversion. He may find himself in trouble with the Players Association. There may be a revolt kicking a drop punt from an angle.
Big Sauce just infringing on the resting ruckman in Gorringe. Needed that, Carlton. They've been a bit shaky here early. Good steadier.
Like all of them, they're 50-50, but they hurt most when you're a defender.
Trying to cement himself in the side, down from the Gold Coast Gorringe, and might get a chance to do a bit more rucking in the second half.
Oh, that was a great tap, that one.
Rockcliffe to Robinson. Jansen to full forward. Freeman. Oh, he got the arms right up. Now Keys should goal from there. And he does. Quick counter here from the Lions. And they're playing with tremendous spirit right at the moment. Whether they can keep it up is another thing. And they're happy to get involved in a tangle. They gave it to Weeder in there.
It was a brilliant tap through the middle of the ground. You see West just flip the ball down to his captain. There's his captain. Just watch them move. They are really in control. Quick hands from Rockcliffe. Out to the outside runner. Ball goes down. That is just midfield work at its best. And good crumbing as well.
So that's a great response from the Lions. West, again, getting that run in the ruck. Their midfield getting right on top out of the middle right now. Jansen, not the perfect handball, and he finds himself facing the wrong way. He's adapted well. Mays sloppy again. They've hurt themselves with the hands so many times today. Mays, as the recovery is, well, it's almost complete. Payne kicks it back to McStay.
And Mays has been one of the culprits, I've got to say, Hutto.
Yep.
He's winning some ball, that's a start, but he's got to do more with it.
Robertson just poking the kick for Rockcliffe, who continues to win plenty of the footy. 50-metre penalty.
Been impressive, the skipper. He's had his challenges and he's delivering on the field. All you can do is lead when you're inside the boundary line.
So not even halfway through the third, he's already up to about to have his 32nd possession.
It's going to be a tough kick to make, but he made it. And Daniel Rich, an embodiment of the effort that Brisbane are putting in this third term.
Yeah, they've been terrific. And with Cruiser off the ground, it's time to strike.
It's got to be all about conversion, though, now for Brisbane. They've left themselves in that position. They cannot afford to make errors. They've got to kick some really big goals if they're going to put themselves in this contest.
Only had 4 disposals in the first half. Rich, this is his third and needs to be a goal.
So 3 goals to 1 for the quarter. Rich stands up and delivers for the Lions. They've kicked 4 or 5 in this term.
He's been terrific.
Daniel Rich.
Right throughout the skipper, Tommy Rockcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
Here's his stats profile, and right from the word go, he was the man.
Yeah, first back from a hammy. Not easy to get your way into it, but he hasn't missed a beat, Rockcliffe, and he'd be pumped with this effort.
Along with Mitch Robertson in his quarter, he's had 9.
Played rounds 1 and 2 and then was injured. Played rounds 5, 6 and 7, was injured again. Had 32 disposals in round 6 against Sydney, and we thought he was getting back to his best, Tom Rockcliffe, but Injury struck again, but he's back there, and that allows the likes of Daniel Rich to get into dangerous positions. Centre of the ground where they've been winning it and winning it well since half-time particularly. Robinson was rushed a bit on the handball. Gibbs needs to lift for Carlton.
He does. He's had a brilliant season to date, but he's had an ordinary day.
Payne well stymied that time. And the margin stands at 21. So repeating Matthew Cruiser off the ground. We believe he's ill. We've got an update at three-quarter time, and we don't see him back on the ground by that stage. Hot pursuit for the ball, and it fell Brisbane's way. Opened up for Keys. Handball via Zorko and Jansen, and now Rich. Temptation must be great to go for goal. Instead, he hoiks it to the top.
Oh, well done.
Still not dead yet for the Lions as they press here, but well done Wright. Good on a couple of occasions there as they get sorted on the way out.
Well, it was a great flurry forward by Brisbane, but they did well, Carlton. And now the rebound. They're going to have to push back hard here, Brisbane. You can't go looking for the oxygen tent.
Blues fans getting a little impatient. Wiedering for Thomas, and they've found a way through. They've picked the way around the edge, and now Curno's got some options down the line, and he takes the most obvious one, which was Cripps. Casbolt just says, kick it up to me, but instead he goes for a little pokey pass, and that's okay, into the 50. And it's going to be Sam Rowe to have the shot for goal.
Talking about Mitch Robertson having a good quarter. He's up to 11 disposals. He's also shutting Gibbs out of the contest. He's only had 2 for the quarter, Jared. So terrific two-way play from Mitch Robinson.
Couple of deep breaths there from Sam Rowe. He's played plenty of time forward in his career, but the last few years been primarily a defender with the Blues. Just 1 goal coming into this afternoon. Sam Rowe, steadying goal required from Carlton and provided.
Great kick. Well, they had a ball going the other way. Unfortunately, there was no one for Rich to hit up. He was too far out for goal, and then slowly the ball came back the other way. And they just found space really well, as they've done all season. Cripps got forward, and then he finds a pass inside forward 50. And that's the one that's the killer. Rose a terrific kick, and he hasn't let them down.
Let's have a look at the score sources here. Brisbane making the most of their dominance in the clearances, though the clearances have been 32-16. They got 4-4 from that. Whereas Carlton doing it all from the turnovers from Brisbane's poor kicking in the middle of the ground. So interesting stuff.
He enjoyed that one, Sam Rowe. Centre bounce, Gorringe takes up the challenge against West. Taylor waiting for it to come his way. It eventually did, out of the grippers of Cripps, but it's now going Carlton's way. Maybe the worms turned again. Nice kick from Thomas to set up Kerridge. Bit of a misfire of a handball. He goes in after it again. Casbolt got down a fierce tackle, and now Harwood right in the heart of it all. It's taken the ground.
Good interception there from Merritt. That was going to be a goal 100% of the time, but Merritt just got a hand on it to disrupt that flow.
Bit of a smack in the chops there, was it?
West gets it down. Walker gets stripped of it. Harwood, Rockcliffe knew he had to release quickly to Bastanak. Nothing obvious for him, but he
found Bell.
He did. He saw. It was terrific vision. Bell, no free kick.
Better than that, Bell.
Wiedering as they gather up some numbers at half forward. Arnfield nearly lost the lot. Comes down to Lamb into the pocket. He's put it in between 3 teammates. He wouldn't want another crack at that.
He's had a stinker, Bell, hasn't he? He's only had the 3 disposals. He's dropped a chest mark there, which could have really presented another opportunity to go straight down the other end. He hasn't handled it all playing against his former side.
Yeah, maybe the occasion has got to him a bit. Throw in West. Hanley. Back to half back. The fist from Doherty. Influential. Robinson caught winding up. Umpire saw it. It's going to come back to Robinson. It's going to be a downfield. Miniature downfield.
Great chase and tackle by Ryan Harwood as well, just to disrupt that flow for Carlton.
There's no obvious exit, so Rockcliffe gives him at least something.
Gee.
Trying back to where we started.
3 disposals and we're nowhere.
Back to Cutler, they're just trying to force the Blues to open things up a bit, but Danny Carlton
they're not getting much help up the ground because everyone's flat-footed for Brisbane forward of the play.
Grabbed his hammy a couple of times there, Rockcliffe. I'm not sure if he's a bit tight. See if he comes off.
I think he might be right.
I don't know if he's done it. He might have just tightened up.
Oh, Pasternak knew that he had to bounce. Found his way through. Kicks it back to half forward. Doherty again on the job. He's getting some work done. We'll get down to Moons on that one soon. Tom Rockcliffe. It was just staving off this big third quarter effort from the Lions. Clean ball use appreciated from Curnow to Casbolt.
Red time is what Justin Lepage was talking about.
Yep, he was talking about it last week and again today. Can't afford to concede here and let the pressure come off. In the pocket, Lamb. And dancing around White. Pinpoints the pass. And Dennis Armfield will try and do the same. Successfully. Brings it back for Kerridge.
Who's had a big third quarter, Sammy Kerridge. And 11 disposals. This is number 12 coming up in the third quarter. He's had a good year since coming over from Adelaide. Him and Matty Wright, for that matter.
Yes.
This will be disposal number 20.
15 seconds.
He's been averaging 22 disposals a game.
Just a quick one down here, Bruce. Sorry, just a quick one on Rockcliffe. He's come back on. He's just got both hamstrings worked on. He's back on the track, though.
35 disposals for Rockcliffe.
So Kerridge. Heartbreaking for the Blues, but well played. A sign of how far they've come.
Well, the one thing that Brisbane have done really well all day is smother the ball until that occasion. Just having a look at this replay here, the ball goes around the one side. That's a smother every day of the week. That just has to be killed, and that stops the flow and the shot at goal.
So for all their efforts, the Lions in this third term, Carlton have been able to steady, kick accurately, and the margin is back beyond 5 goals. West trying to give his midfielders an armchair ride, which he's done for a fair proportion of this third quarter. Bastanak did a good enough job, and here is Rockcliffe back on the ground. Gibbs thrusting back hard the other way with a smother. Tried to charge his way through. Graham lends a hand. Ryan's ready to pounce if it squirts out. Jansen took it and kept good protection of the ball. Harwood fires it for Taylor as they go back, hoping then to go forward, but Mays, and they reverted all the way back to centre halfback. Merritt now. Challenge with wanted to bring any sort of forward momentum, would have taken a really good kick, and he wasn't prepared to take that chance.
And I think they've got to be a little bit more adventurous through the middle of the ground, Roo. They're just getting pressed back and back and back, rather than taking on the opportunity and getting the ball inside their forward 50 before Carlton can set their defensive zone up.
Well, they've got 8 blokes very deep here, Brisbane, and no one in the middle of the ground.
Freeman got a run at it. Didn't get the timing quite right. Bell misfired another handball. That made the job of Taylor impossible, but he keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and getting dizzy in the end. And Curnow, who's been outstanding again today, wins the free.
Real hospital handball from Bell.
Yeah, did him no favours. Burn decides to lay back by hand. White put a bit of a target on Doherty's head, but he's nimble enough to get out, and Burn backed it up with some good running. And they exit smartly through centre half back the Blues. And now this could build to something really good. Through the middle, Plough links that with Burn. Kept on coming, options right and left.
Yes.
Down the middle inside 50. Great pass to Lamb on the end of it.
Kieran Burn is a joy to watch.
Well, it's just Carlton moved the ball with more fluency, more speed. They were prepared to split open and spread hard, which really split the Brisbane defence open. They got it back through the middle and moved the ball with a lot better speed and purpose than what Brisbane have been able to do.
Just love watching Kieran Byrne play. He's a boy from Ireland who's come out, and he's a magnificent kick, which many of them turn into be. But he knows the game. He's got a feel for the game.
Yeah, it looks like he's been playing it all his life. Lamb making the most of his opportunities. Threads another one for the Blues. And it's 4 goals each for the quarter. So for all that hard work, Carlton have kicked the last 3. And we're back to 39 points.
Let's just take a look at this particular play. You've got Lamb here. And he's just charging forward. He goes to the left. He goes to the right. And it was Kieran Byrne who picked him out magnificently.
Well, it's a couple of times we've seen Sam Mayes just get totally lost in defence. He's got no idea what he's doing there at times as a defender, and he needs to learn quickly, otherwise he's going to have a lot of goals kicked on him.
3 goals for Jed Lamb.
Good tackle through the middle.
Carlton.
And again, late in the quarter, really hurting Brisbane. They were smashed late last week by Hawthorn.
Let's get it back here.
Is that because they're young or they're not fit enough?
I think it's that they just can't keep the intensity up for the entire
Well, what's it, mindset?
30 minutes. I think it's probably a little bit of youth as well.
And the siren sounds for ultimately a disappointing result for Brisbane, but again, well played Carlton. They're able to see off every challenge from the Lions so far, and they hit 3/4 time, 39 points in advance of the Lions. Brisbane have won the last 3 times against Carlton, but it's going to be hard to do so again this afternoon. So last quarter from Etihad Stadium. Centre clearances have been 11-6 in favour of the Brisbane Lions for the day.
High contact, Carlton. Advantage.
Advantage taken by Cripps. He stormed forward, so there was nothing at all inside the 50. Kerridge has the same problem, so hence his decision to go super short and then follow it up himself. It's a bit of a one-man show. Thomas and then back outside to Cripps. Again, he's weighing them up in his mind where to head. And there's nothing for him. And Payne should have bagged. Probably a lack of talk. Back to you, Moons.
Guys, just quickly, we just got word from Carlton that we will not be seeing Cruiser at all for the rest of the game. He is physically too ill to come back out.
Nice work, Moons, and hopefully he can get over that pretty quickly. But that one from Jackson Payne, doesn't matter whether anyone's talking, he sees it, he's got to snaffle that.
Is that high on right, head thrust back?
Carlton.
Came from the non-controlling umpire, I suspect.
All more punches like that be deliberate, Jared, the way they go.
There's a chance I think that will get under the microscope.
Punched out on the
So
floor.
they should too. I mean, he marked the ball.
Let's have a look. Well, tackle just slipping up a bit through the head back. So right to have the shot. Plenty of goals in his career, 70 of them.
Been a terrific pickup though. It looked as if he was going to be a winner for them the day that he was announced, along with Kerridge.
Yep.
And they have not let their new club down.
Really given them depth. And he's worked that one back beautifully left to right. I guess what it's allowed them to do is trade out a few players as Bell and get a pick in the 20s and build. You know, Yaron and Menzel went, and then they got a few back in at a cheaper price.
And they've got good players back in as well. I think that not sure what the issue in Adelaide was with both of those 2 players, but they've had talent and they've been given a platform to produce that talent.
Well, you know what you're going to get with Matty Wright. He's hard, he's consistent, and just obviously Adelaide decided that they wanted to go with a little bit more quality and youth, and he's a perfect pickup for Carlton because he can play a role for a few years until their younger guns develop. Give him a bit more depth. I think they got him for nothing.
Well, that one against Cripps for a 2-handed throw. certainly done well with Malira. He's one hell of a player.
Kick the centre half forward, turn it straight over. And Doherty gives it plenty. Now the race is on. Walker, Gibbs trying to provide the option, but Walker says, I can do this myself. Turns out, he can't. Brendan Bolton has learnt quickly how to mutter under two hands. It's part of coaching school, I think.
Yes. I think I could interpret that, actually.
Go on, tell me about it.
Something about a drop punt there, Jared. Something about kicking around the corner.
How are they running at the moment, the stats for around the corner? We've had one ripper.
It's not very favourable.
Why'd you have to put the voice on for, Ru? As
That was muffling through the fingers.
Bastonak's ball inside defensive 50. 13-5 for Carlton, so you can't fault their accuracy overall for the day, but they've let a couple go. Skies the kick back to the wing. His body's up and down. White, Doherty again. Had a quiet first quarter, but has got better and better as the game's gone on. He's ended up with 15 disposals so far, Doherty. His Kerridge kicks that one for Thomas.
And getting better and better. He's been paid the free kick for over the top. He's having a terrific month, Daisy Thomas.
It was a fraction quieter last week, but as you said, he's really got back to something like his best. Not quite back to where he was when Ross Lyon famously said he was the best player in the competition back in 2011.
Nice kick.
To Cripps.
You just see the zone breaking down there. People not being as active as they were earlier in the match.
2 goals and Cripps too far out to score. Going to have to go short to Kerridge. Continuing to get plenty of the footy. He's already had 4 touches in this final term. And he finds Curnow in the pocket.
Another terrific game by him. He'd be pushing up for coaches' votes, I would think.
Hard worker. Really, I've just been watching him run. Gee, he runs hard through the middle of the ground.
His average possessions up from 21 last year to 25 this year. Still only 26 years of age. And he's going to have a crack from there.
Oh.
And he summed it up perfectly. Blues have hit party mode now.
Once again, that is where you have a snap from. That is where you use the banana from, where you can't kick a drop punt.
Yeah, that's a late Emma's there for that kick. And right now, if you believe in rankings points, as I strongly do, outside of Tom Rockcliffe, he's the best player on the ground. He's had a fantastic afternoon again and just finished it off with a nice old boomerang. And there are the rankings points for the best players on the ground. Tom Rockcliffe, he's had his own football, and Curnow has been magnificent.
11 tackles
in all elements of the game.
He was able to restrict Joel Selwood last week. He's got an offensive game that he's showing us this year. We saw some of it there. Blues are hungry for more. Hitting overtime here in the last quarter. Harwood.
Well read. Well read. Well, gave him a little shove.
Bell. Goes for a trot. Oh, over the head of Hamlet. Gorringe takes the mark. Casbolt wanted it long. The kick was somewhere in between. Back to Cutler. Oh, Rich had to stand the ground knowing what was coming. Turns onto that left. Didn't have anything long. Again, burnt the ball. Burnt it badly. Curnow refused to be rushed. He picked out 2v1.
That's a great shepherd. Is he going to play it against? Yeah,
it's against. And Sam Rowe, might as well enjoy the moment of kicking the goal, even though it's not going to count. And it's going to be 50 as well.
That's probably when you don't give 50, when if Sam Rowe hasn't heard it.
Yeah.
Or it potentially could have been a free to Carlton, you never know.
Yeah, but you still, if you do that, if you know you've heard the whistle, for you or for not, you've got to stop.
He looked around, though.
I'm not sure where the free kick to Carlton was going to come from, though.
If he had just kept his hands up, though, Jerry, would have been one of the great shepherds of all time.
Yeah, it was a mid-air shepherd.
He did have a look behind. Feniston
That was just to see if he had space.
Yeah, of course it was.
He's probably never run into an open goal before. I couldn't believe it.
Cutler with a long kick in. Freeman. And again, it's the same problem for the Lions. Their young key forwards. Hasn't been easy for them, but...
No, it hasn't. But I see Daniel Rich wheeling off that half-back line. They're gold. You know you've got a bloke with the ball in his hands who can ping a 50-metre pass. So surely they can have somebody they can orchestrate somebody to be on the end of that kick. And there would be the frustration that Justin Lepage is feeling, because he can see it. He's clearly got plans for it, but it's not
They haven't been able to get the best out of Daniel Rich for a while, have they?
No.
He's struggled when he's been really closely tended to by the opposition, hasn't he, in terms of tags?
He struggled without a tag a little bit as well, Hutto. He hasn't been the dominant player for a long time.
What's his best spot, do you think?
Great teamwork this by the Blues while you think about that. And they're out again. Sam Rowe, he wants another chance to kick a big goal. Not going to get it there. Payne worked it towards the line. Keeps it in Rowe. Harwood down the line. Couple of lines to aim at. Rockcliffe. What a massive day to half forward. Shackey one way, Wiedering the other. And again, Wiedering got a fist to it. This time it opens up for West. Squirts out the handball to Rich. It was there to kick. And it goes exactly where he hoped. Maybe it's full forward.
Well, it was a great goal off the ground, but it's also another element of Wiedering's game. He was a bit stiff there. Another intercept punch, but it fell in the hands of the Brisbane Lions, and they got a nice sliding, skidding, tumbling goal. So another big win coming up for the Blues.
Looked like it was going to be a big blowout, and still might be. Their average losing margin for the last month, Brisbane's been 66.5 points. So back to 46.
One of the issues for Brisbane, I reckon, Jared, is what they do with Stephen Martin. I mean, it seems that
he's a ruckman.
Yeah.
He's a ruckman, and he's a running round the ground ruckman, and they're probably robbing Peter to get West into the ground, into the game.
McStay, probing kick to full forward. Keys not quite. Rich comes in, approaches it from the pocket. And just try to improvise a little kick, but Doherty was on the job for the Blues. Trying to handball their way out. Simpson with a little bit of pressure, brushes that aside. Doherty again poking it through to Graham. And now they are charging through the middle. Tui only knows one way. All the groundwork's been done. Who's going to feast on it forward? Or Walker left it behind. Has to go in after it. They jumped all over him. Play on the call. Robertson comes away smartly. And now it's the Lions' turn. Through Bastonet.
Well, the reason why Brisbane got Stephen Martin is because he was seen as a failed forward for the Demons. He wasn't able to play that secondary role in the forward line. Well, he's an all-Australian level ruckman when he's let go by himself. Their problem is Trent West. What do they do with Trent West?
Well, he's actually been okay as a ruckman, hasn't he? And Zorko kicks it straight back to Kerridge.
The main problem is they've got two ruckmen, and neither of them are
They're trying to get
great up forward.
Getting something up front, aren't they? Trying to give Shackey a hand.
Hutto, just a quick update on Christensen. They have taken him to hospital just to get those scans done on that right collarbone, just to see what damage is done.
Thank you, Moons. Ball's on the way out again via Simon White. Wiedering continues to build his numbers up.
That's a great kick. Inside the corridor, opens up two channels.
Burn back into the middle. And again, takes them out to half forward. Casbolt a long way from home. Graham not quite. Robinson. Free kick. Will they take the advantage? They will. Quick kick into the middle was productive from Martin. And they've got some options there. Well, they're just about through it. Again, a fumble. Shackey off the left. Takes it wide for Tom Bell.
Good vision from Shackey, and good to see Bell in that spot. And I think they should keep him down there. He's the big body. Keep him there for a month and just see how he goes. inside that forward 50.
Carlton fans feel a little bit robbed. They haven't had the chance to boot on Bell today, have they? Because he just hasn't had enough of the ball.
No, that's harsh.
Well, it was their first opportunity then. He just hasn't, unfortunately for Tom, had a lot of the ball. Hopefully he can kick this one through.
They should be cheering. They got pick 21 for us.
Here's the picture of concentration from the pocket. Simon White, friendly fashion. For those that weren't watching earlier, that's the Alan Christensen incident.
One of the harder hits we've seen in 2016.
Yep.
From Walker on the way out, Simpson.
One of the hardest legal ones, anyway.
Armfield again, he just had to bust through there. Walker places it, and they can have the joy of running onto it inside the forward 50. Worked out well by Lamb, and it's right, soaks up the moment, and kicks it into the third tier.
And the domination continues for this Blues outfit that are just going from strength to strength.
This coaching cape is easy, isn't it?
As you like. He has got them all believing in themselves, knowing what they're about to do. Their skill level is on the rise. Their connectivity is magnificent. They're playing unselfish footy.
Monty to have their biggest win for the year. It was 19 points last week against the Cats.
It's the Blues' improvement this year, boys.
Yeah, have a look at those numbers.
Incredible,
18, 17, 17 and 17, so they rock bottom last year, but
You just look at the defence. Points conceded.
hanging around the top 8 there.
Amazing, isn't it?
Which they'll be probably next week.
Getting close, storming out of the middle, Rockcliffe. It gives the forwards a chance to run at it. West fending it away. And well done, Tui. Plowman, cornered. Gets out of it by hand. Byrne again. Here's Bell trying to charge through. Jansen to Hanley, meticulous looking kick, but again the fist was affected by Doherty, Cripps, and now look at them charge forward, Carlton. They spread, they're hoping for something on the way out, just held up a little bit. And Thomas forced to go back to the goal square, which he's happy to do, as they push hard out the other side. Simpson by hand initially to Plowman, and sniffed out on the occasion. Good pressure from Zorko and Bell. Here is the live ladder. It's amazing what 6 wins out of 7 can do.
Ooh, look at this. Knocking on the door of the 8, the Blues.
Up to 9th, depending on what happens. The rest of the weekend could stay there. Quick snap for goal. It was a terrific one.
So the Lions continue to push on. And he, whilst he's got the game nice and truly won, he would like to see an improvement in the percentage. Brendan Bolton, and these goals when the game is all over, you're just giving him a little bit of a burr in the saddle, because it's stoppage goals, and it's an area where they will spend a fair bit of time working on during the week.
For the 8th time in his career, Tom Rockcliffe has gone past the 40 mark. 42 disposals. He's led magnificently today.
Dozen clearances, 17 contested, 6 centre clearances as well. And a goal.
Back forward, back orange. And he pounces on it again. Flips up the handball. Robertson and Robinson both in there. Jansen showed a bit early. He's had 17 disposals, 10 contested possessions for the day. Kicked a goal on debut. So he can be reasonably satisfied with his debut, the former Cat.
It's been impressive, been good.
He's in the thick of it again there. Trying to dig it out. The Zorko. Needed instructions on how to get out of that little tangle.
It's a really good rebounding back half, though, for the Blues. When you look at Doherty and Simpson, Tui, Byrne, they are really hard running, good interceptors and terrific kicks, a lot of them.
But it's not really a young team, is it? That's what.
No, it's not. The third oldest in the game.
Yeah, so how much damage can they do this year, given the draw they've got?
Well, they've got to make the 8 first. And that's a challenge given
that would be an amazing achievement.
It would be, but given their percentage, they're another game out than they would normally be.
Here's the age comparison today. Carlton over a year older on average. Daniel Merritt, the oldest player out there, 31, but the rest of the Lions are relatively young. And there's the games differential, so an average of 19 games spread out in the way you can see. Bryce Gibbs, his influence has been curtailed very well today. Just 10 disposals. 34 last week.
The tag is back. Should have never left.
Plowman, not quite, no free kick. His recovery was excellent though. And he had Kieran Byrne, who continues to impress, although it wasn't the best of handballs. Curnow can't escape. Fierce clutches from Harwood. Merritt comes through, wears one from Gorringe in the back, the umpire says.
Well, Byrne was pretty well, he's learned quickly. The 1-2 was on, he was looking for it, give it to someone under pressure and just get it straight back.
Yep. Rockcliffe, and then Cutler, and then Robertson. Tried to shape the kick into the pocket. Bell flew, but again crawled effectively by Doherty. Simpson buries in hard for the ball, and they jump all over him. And the umpire might ping him here.
We just saw coming off that half-back run, the ball that goes into the forward line, if it's got hang time, it really does kill undersized forwards like Tom Bell.
Crowd of just over 30,000. Carlton fans are starting to come back to the footy and enjoy their experience again. Martin tried to fashion it once, and on the second time, better luck from Stephen Martin.
Well, this time it's the Brisbane Lions doing some damage in red time room.
Yeah, absolutely. And good to see that they haven't dropped the ball late in the game. Could have been an absolute blowout the way it was looking for a while, but a couple of late goals has reduced the margin. 3 goals each in the last quarter so far.
So it's 7 goals, 1 each for the second half. Stephen Martin showing he is capable of hitting the scoreboard. Margin back to 39 points. And Etihad as they crash in the middle again. West gets it down. Rockcliffe, another possession. West inside 50. Martin hit the ball hard, but Plowman there to equal the numbers and make a contest of it. Wiedering swiping it out for right. Howard and Bell stopping that go any further. 7.5 minutes remaining. Another 4 points coming up for Brendan Bolton's Carlton.
6 out of the last 7 for Carlton.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Good run.
I spoke about the age of the Blues, and that'll be a free kick. If you look at their defence, Lockie Plowman's played just 27 games. Jacob Wiedering is now up to 9 games. Kieran Byrne, phenomenally, has also only played 9 games, coming from another country, and he looks as if he's been here for 10 years. And Simon White, he's only played 65 games as well.
Hanley as they link up again. Can this amount to anything? Here's Rockcliffe, and Rockcliffe again. Armfield, Blues pounce. Blues have got all ahead of them here on the outer wing. Kerridge. Vacant goal square, a couple of bounces. Pass or shoot. He passes for Levi. No mark, no free kick.
In the back.
Come on back. Yeah, it's deliberate, of course.
Oh, you felt guilty.
the ball.
Casbolt might get it after all.
Or not, he might repay the fine. Oh, he did too.
There's a payback.
Paying 50. I'm
There's
paying 50.
payback.
I'm paying the 50.
You go with the chain.
He could not resist.
Take the play.
Let's go.
I don't mind that, Room.
The old-fashioned
Don't mind
leveler.
that. Just letting everyone know.
Should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I?
I don't think he wants any fans in the Blues membership department.
What's the blocking?
Who's contesting the footy?
Don't block him up.
Will he get a fine for that?
He might have just got a 50.
That'll be enough.
I think so.
Pasternak. Good lead from Shaki. That's 50.
50.
Yeah, just drifted through Nick Graham.
Ran from the mark.
Oblivious to exactly where he was on the mark. And they've come back with a late flurry here, the Lions. Too little too late in terms of winning the game.
Push out, please, 10 metres.
That will add to the respectability. Shaki to put this through, which he does. But let's have another look at what was happening at the other end, why don't we?
Let's have a look. Casbolt would have been a bit unhappy. He didn't get a free. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I?
Why not?
Why not? That is very silly, just running through the mark. I don't know what was going through his mind there, but perhaps nothing.
Josh Shaki's first goal. His best of the game is just 2 so far.
Block, Carlton.
They're right onto this, the umpires. It's taken them a long, long time, but gee, the last 5 or 6 weeks, since the Hickey decision, they really have hammered down the fact that you can't block a bloke's run.
Gorringe takes the mark. He's had a mixed bag with his kicking today. Goal.
Has he ever? We're going to go the drop punt from here, though, Hutto. Snapshot.
So Andrew Gorringe comes in from 30 out.
Gee. You're going to cement yourself, Daniel. They have got to go through.
Robinson takes the mark. He's getting booed because we know why he's getting booed overall, but booed even more because Levi ran into him.
He did run into Levi first, Hutto.
Yeah, he probably did. The kick goes up to the wing. Bell lifts himself high. Zorko and Taylor, the legs are pumping on the wing. Swipes a couple of flies away, gives it to his fellow small man in Zorko, who screws the kick. Somehow it stays in, and that's out of bounds.
Well, he's had 3 goes at the top. 2 were pretty good. That one was not so good.
Four and a half minutes remaining.
Eyes on it. Hang on.
Martin back in ruck. Rich improvised from where he was. Favoured the Blues defence. He almost couldn't help but take the mark, and now they're bolting again into the clear. Right. He's enjoyed running along that city wing this afternoon.
The long kick from Brisbane into their forward line has reaped virtually no reward.
Here's Kieran Byrne, adventurous again to half forward. Nick Graham takes the mark. Walker's long in the square, pokes the kick instead to Curnow, who is looking for a couple of potential leads.
There's Casbolt.
It's a bit of a strange old kick.
Strange.
To say the least. Stephen Martin helps himself.
He's got no one to kick it to. He's going to need Tom Bell to do some work.
Cutler down the wing, Plowman well positioned.
That's just undisciplined by Bell.
Well, he was a 2-on-1, 3-on-1.
I'll just give the free kick away then. Put a pound down.
I think he knew the numbers. The cavalry wasn't coming.
Plowman again. We're going to see a big orange cloud.
Oh,
he's got it.
Purple patch.
Brings it in. Tui. Boom. Oh. Now Levi, not without a chance here. Comes late. No one to clean up. Kerridge back to Walker. Casbolt into the pocket. Graham. Is anyone going to have a shot? Graham, they're backing back.
Get into that.
Armfield, no. Or Freeman dropped the mark in the end. Rockcliffe has his 47th disposal. Rowe not prepared to have a shot. Tui, somebody kicked, the Blues fan saying. It won't be Kieran Byrne, it's holding the ball. Advantage taken by Rich, but there's nothing. There's just tumbleweeds when he looked ahead. And Taupo said, no, you haven't taken the advantage at all.
Here they go again, the Blues.
Question, Gorringe, does he want it back here? No, it's Armfield. Dennis will kick one for you. Why not?
He was having a good last quarter, Daniel Gorringe. He's missed one that he should have kicked, but he's starting to mop up. And he was a pretty high draft pick. Let's have a look at the Blues cavalcade of high draft picks. Matthew Cruiser.
4 aces.
Completes 3 aces. Make that 4. And some high-profile elder statesmen as well.
Yeah, that would rank second to GWS only, wouldn't it? Or similar.
For #1 picks.
And 2s.
Armfield, consecutive 3-goal bags. There's 2 minutes remaining, and there's an air of excitement around Etihad Stadium. Carlton fans, they're enjoying going to the footy again, and they haven't done a lot of that for a very long time.
That value for money, though. They are back in full voice, the Blue Army.
Reach to Taylor. Jansen trying to hit Zorko. It's going to be tough, but he's just placed it well enough.
Tom Rockcliffe needs 1 to break his career high. He's on 47. He's had that once before. It's an amazing performance to get 40 possessions, let alone nearly eclipse 50.
And that just tails away to the left.
Could he get 3 in a minute and a half and raise the bat?
Well, anything's possible.
Round 18, 2014 against the Gold Coast was when he last did it.
Little 1-2.
Simpson back into play. Levi fighting with Kerridge for the mark. Take your pick, Sam Kerridge.
Would you like Kerridge still in the midfield at the Crows, Roo? He's a good ball winner.
Comfortable with the decision that they made.
There's the next month ahead for Carlton. Winnable games against St Kilda in the bye and Collingwood. And GWS, those last 2 will be interesting. So will the Saints, who have shown they can play some good footy. But Carlton, the last 45 seconds of the game, Kieran Byrne managed a rare mistake. And they're not going to profit from it, though, or will they? Zorko for Cutler. Back. More errors coming to White, to Doherty. He was a little bit dizzy there, I think, spinning every which way. Cutler breaks through. Back to Shackey. Inside 50, Rich on the wrong side. Turns smartly onto the left. Kept fooling him. And then out to Rockcliffe. There's 48. And he goes short. And he finds Zorko.
Go back to him.
So 10 seconds. Counting down to the end of the game. They have fought it out, Brisbane. But there's wasted opportunities early. And they've sprayed a few late as well. In the end, Carlton fans will take another victory, 6 from the last 7. And now the question of whether they can turn this into something that could even involve action in September must be raised again. The Blues by 38 points. let's get down to Moons.
Yeah, hello, down here with Jacob Wearing. I mean, you got to the football club, down the bottom of the ladder. Things weren't going well. First year in, here you are. You're just playing such a great game of football at the moment, this team.
Yeah, it's new Carlton, Moon. I mean, obviously we've got 16 new faces in at the club, Brendan Bolton, new coaching staff, and it's all changed from up top. So the culture we're running is terrific. All the leaders have been doing a terrific job all year, so it's just fantastic to be a part of the club.
Well, there's so many great stories. With the back line, you guys have just gelled so well together this year.
Yeah, we've got Dale Amos in from Geelong, so he's been fantastic for me personally, and obviously the back line itself. So got real diversity down there, some young guys and some older guys, so it's been fantastic.
What about young Joshy Chackey? I mean, you guys have played a lot of footy against each other, with each other. I mean, we just got to see how hopefully what get to see in the next 10 years, hopefully.
Yeah, he's a fantastic fella. Played a lot of footy with Josh, and obviously we've gone to 2 different clubs, and he's obviously gone up north, but I'm sure he'll have a fantastic season and career ahead of him. So,
mate, go and enjoy this. You deserve it.
Well, what a ride it is for the Blues right now. 38 points the final margin. Bryce Gibbs, we saw there, not as dominant, just the 12 disposals today, but others stepped up. Kerridge with 30. I know you're probing Roo and just teasing him a bit, Jared, but
They are happy with the decision they made.
Troy Menzel might have a fair say on that one. He was involved in the deal.
And the Lions have got to lick their wounds and just maintain a positive atmosphere at the club, try and work their way through to their second win of the season. But at this stage it looks a long way away. But the story is clearly the first half of the year. It has been about the Navy Blues. Senior players returning to their very best. And here's another one with Moon.
Thanks very much, Jared. I mean, just talk about what's going on at this football club. I mean, you've been here a couple of years now. Last year, you finished down the bottom of the ladder. What's changed so much?
Yeah, look, mate, obviously we've had all the coaches sort of changed over and a lot of new players, but Bolts has came in, real team-first mentality, and it's amazing how far we've come in a year, but we put in a lot of hard work over the pre-season, and we can keep building throughout the year, so it's been good.
Spoke with Jacob Wearing about just how well the back line has gelled, but the whole group has gelled so well, considering all the new faces that you've had come in.
Yeah, we talk about team defence, and the back line's setting up well, and us mids and forward line can put enough pressure on that it helps the back line immensely, so that's what we're trying to do.
Did well in that second half, considering Big Matty Cruz went out.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of a head knock, so hopefully he was all right. But look, credit to Brisbane. I thought their midfield probably got the better of us today, Broccoli especially. So we'll have a look at the tape and go from there.
How's the body?
No, it's all right, mate. Yeah, it's when you start winning, it feels better, mate. So it's all good.
Right, go and enjoy. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
yes, it was interesting. Jared, given Brisbane actually put up some, in a couple of areas, they actually played very well today, didn't they? Really, they're kicking for goal, but also their whole system going into the 50.
Well, they've really had a major win on clearance, Hutto, contested possession as well. They've eclipsed Carlton, and that's an area that's been a real negative for Brisbane for a long, long time. So there's some small gains being made here by the Brisbane Lions. They're yet to have an impact on the scoreboard, though. They are a long way off at trying to connect that midfield to their forward half.
Yeah, they won 3 key areas. The contested possession, tackles and clearances. Generally, when you win those 3, you'll win the game. I think it's about 90%. There's Carlton sitting in 9th, equal 8th with Adelaide. A few of the sides above Carlton still have to play. They've got the Saints here next Sunday, Carlton at Etihad, and that'll be one that they need to win if they're going to play finals.
Yeah, spot on. You've got to beat those sides below you and try and snag 1 or 2 above, particularly when you've got a percentage as they have, well and truly under 100%. That's another 4 points they're going to have to make up. But finals or not, this ride is exciting.
Yeah, one of the exciting parts, I guess, is that we haven't really seen the young players that they recruited last year, and they'll no doubt bring in more youth at the end of this year. So they still can build, and in the meantime, they have a club which is winning and creating the right culture.
They've got an extra. They get an extra draft pick for Henderson. Was that a future pick as well? So they've got a round 1 pick for him.
Yep, we've still got some to go, and I suspect Sauce will be trying to get a bit more out of the Giants again, as he did last year. There'll be other clubs that'll be onto that, though.
17 others.
Yes.
Yeah. When you consider Bryce Gibbs had probably his worst game for the year, and they lost Matthew Cruiser, they to get the dominance that they did have in the finish, was a darn good effort. It was good to see Nick Graham come back into the side. Kieran Byrne, he's a revelation, Kieran Byrne.
Yeah, I like him.
Staggered at how good a player he is. Just 9 games now, and he runs and moves like he's played a couple of hundred, and he's just going to become an unbelievable player for them. We know the All-Australian side is going to be tinkered with over the next 4 or 5 days. I know he's on the back flank for the All-Ireland side. They've got 2 of them, Tui and Byrne.
It's good stuff for Carlton fans, isn't it? And you can see how much they're enjoying themselves. Jacob Wiedering, we just can't stop singing his praises, how composed he looks back in defence and what a player he's going to become.
What about him and Cripps? How good are they going to be?
And Wiedering could end up going forward at times in the future.
That'll be interesting whether that happens, to be honest. If you're that good in defence, and I know that was a debate that people had whether they go Shaki or Wiedering, both clubs. It's hard to believe that you're not robbing something if you take away such a great interceptor.
So something that had been rare in the last few years for the Blues, the chance to sing the theme song. 6 of the last 7 matches, they've been able to belt it out, the old Dark Navy Blues.